Good morning, friends. So I woke up to this. I heard these words when I woke up. Jesus did not change my mind about you. Think about that. Jesus did not change my mind about you. Jesus was the expression of how I have always unconditionally seen you in love. I was like, whoa. And then I heard the same love I have for Jesus, I have always had for you. I mean, my mind is blown. I'm laying in bed. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm just woken up. And that's what Papa says to me. And I'm like, whoa. The crazy thing is I've always known this, right? These aren't new words to me. But this morning they sunk deep. It just penetrated deeper into my soul than I think it ever has, to be quite honest. And so I'm sitting there just mesmerized by what I've heard. And all of a sudden, I feel as though I am floating in this white kind of light. I mean, it's just totally surrounding me. Now, I've got my eyes closed, so this is all inside of me, right? And I am floating in this just pure white light. And I feel like I'm floating on top of like a calm sea, but it's all surrounding me. So you're kind of just gently moving back and forth. And so as I'm sitting there and floating in this, and it's wonderful, I asked Papa, I say, Papa, what is this? And I hear him say that this is the great sea of my unconditional love. Soak in it. Soak in it I did. So I am just literally just like, it's awesome. And so what's wild is as I'm soaking it, I could feel parts of my body, like over here, like in my back, down my leg. Parts of my body was tensing up, like I could feel a tension there. And I was like, that's weird. Why? And as soon as I asked the question, I felt in my spirit that these are parts of my body that haven't fully accepted the unconditional love of the Father. And what's really cool, and this is newer for me, guys, I would say, is that I wasn't upset. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, how can you not, accept this, right? I had compassion for my body. I had compassion for those parts. And it was like, oh, okay, guys, fully submit. It's okay. So I started speaking to those parts of my body, just saying, guys, it's okay. You can fully submit to God's love. And one by one, I could feel that tension just releasing as I began to say that. And it's like I could just feel it just dissipating into the waters, but it wasn't like it was going away from me. It was like the waters were really penetrating into those spaces and it was just releasing it. So then it's almost like, well, really, it's like I wanted more. I wanted more of me submitting in the fullness of everything of who I was, submitting to God's love. And it wasn't like, oh, I must surrender and sacrifice. This was a yielding, a submission to the great love of the Father. And really, I would say it's not even a submission. It's an acceptance of that and receiving of his love versus me submitting, right? It was like, oh, yes, every part of me. So then I started, and I've never done this before, guys. So then I start calling out to every part of my body, every fragment of me, everything of me that I felt like had been fragmented or broken or whatever. And I felt like I was going through dimensions. I felt like I was literally traveling at great speeds through the galaxies, finding pieces of me that were broken or pieces that had been imprisoned by false lies and false beliefs, either about myself or the Father. And it's like I was rushing out and I was saying, guys, come on. And I was gathering all parts of myself, like, guys, you've got to encounter this. And it was a compassion of that love. And so as I go out, I'm literally calling to each of those and bringing them back in to join me. And then I could feel them. It's like they all came back in, and I'm sitting there, and it's just, I'm still soaking in that sea. And then I began to say, Papa, reprogram me. Reprogram me in your love. So that's all I know. That's all I think about. And so as I'm sitting there, I literally begin to feel like a tingling on my head and my brain. And I could feel the Father's love just like literally reprogramming me. And there was some slight uncomfortableness, I would say, but it was wonderful. And it's like I could feel him moving things around and just shifting in my brain. And it was an incredible experience. And then I kind of came out of that experience and then just began to thank the Father and just be grateful for that. So what I wanted to really say and encourage you guys this morning is that this isn't just for me. This experience wasn't because I'm special. This is an experience of an awakening to who you already are, to how the Father already feels about you. This is identity. Your identity is love. Your identity is Christ because of what he has already put inside you. In the process of identity and even identity coaching is to help us come into that same realization that I've had as well. And it's a journey and a process. But guys, you are wonderfully loved. And what the Father said to me this morning is what he says to you. So I want to shift this and actually bring this to you and say this, that Jesus did not change God's mind about you. Jesus was the expression, the full expression of the Father's love and how he has always seen you. The Father has always seen you in love. And the same love that the Father has for Jesus is the same love that he has for you. Think about that for a second. That means you are loved unconditionally by the Father. Incredibly, scandalously loved by the Father. It's incredible. So I want you just to soak on that this morning and allow that to penetrate deep into your soul. Call out to every parts of you. Call out to every lie, everything. Bring them into the love of the Father and just tell your mind, tell your body, it's okay. I love you. Come on, let's soak in the love of the Father together. Awesome. Have a great day, and I cannot wait to talk to you all again. Bye-bye.